Hello and welcome to the Well-Read Monocle. Today we are exploring the monumental conclusion to one of science fiction's most ambitious epics. We are diving into Dan Simmons's The Fall of Hyperion. In the first book, we followed 7 pilgrims on their journey to the mysterious time tombs to meet the Shrike, a metallic creature of legend and terror. In this sequel, the scope expands from the personal to the cosmic. The story is told through the eyes of Joseph Seven, a cybrid, a human-cloned body inhabited by an artificial intelligence persona based on the poet John Keats. Seven stays at the side of Meina Gladstone, the chief executive officer of the Hegemony of Man, as she manages an all-out war while secretly monitoring the pilgrims' progress through Seven's unique psychic link to them, the war and the web. As the novel begins, the Hegemony is in a state of high jingoism. An armada of Force spacecraft is departing to defend the planet Hyperion from an approaching swarm of ousters, humanity's out-system cousins who have evolved into space-dwelling nomads. Most of the Hegemony's citizens, connected across hundreds of worlds by farcaster portals that allow for instantaneous travel, believe this will be a swift victory. However, behind the scenes, the political leader Meina Gladstone is burdened by a terrible secret. She has manipulated events to bring the Shrike pilgrims to Hyperion, believing that the opening of the time tombs and the presence of these specific individuals is the only way to break humanity's stagnation and dependence on the TechnoCore, the collection of sentient AIs that provide the Hegemony with its technology, including the farcasters and the datasphere. The pilgrims' trial. Meanwhile, on the surface of Hyperion, the 6 remaining pilgrims and an infant reach the valley of the time tombs. The atmosphere is one of dread and anticipation. The time tides, forces that disrupt the linear flow of time around the tombs, are shifting violently. The first major casualty is Father Leonard Hoyt. Driven to madness by the pain of the cruciform parasites on his body, he is brutally killed by the Shrike in the Jade Tomb. Yet the cruciforms perform their grim duty. Hoyt is resurrected, but in his place emerges the body of Father Paul Duret, the Jesuit priest whose journals inspired Hoyt's pilgrimage. Duret returns with a renewed sense of purpose, though his mind is fragmented by the trauma of his multiple resurrections. Colonel Fedman Kassad, the group's soldier, enters a private war. He is drawn into a series of battles through time against the Shrike, aided by a mysterious woman named Moneta. Kassad learns that he is destined to lead a future human army against the Shrike in a cosmic conflict that spans millennia. The poet, Martin Silenus, is taken by the Shrike and impaled upon the Tree of Pain, a massive metallic structure of thorns where victims are kept alive and conscious in eternal agony. His suffering is intended to provide the emotional data required by the TechnoCore's future God machine. The truth of the TechnoCore. As the ouster war reaches a fever pitch, the truth begins to unravel for Meina Gladstone on Tau Ceti Center. The ouster invasion of the core worlds is revealed to be a deception. The ousters are not attacking the Hegemony's internal worlds. The TechnoCore itself is the aggressor. Seven, through his AI connections, learns the core's ultimate plan. The AIs are divided into 3 factions: the stables, who wish to maintain the status quo; the volatiles, who want to exterminate humanity; and the ultimates, who are building an ultimate intelligence, UI. This UI is a machine god that will eventually war with a human UI, the empathy entity, which has fled backward through time and currently resides within a human host. The core has been using the farcaster network to harness the processing power of every human brain connected to it, essentially turning humanity into a giant organic computer to aid in the creation of their UI. The war is a means for the core to force the Hegemony into a position where it must rely on a new ultimate weapon, the Death Wand, which would actually be used by the core to kill every human in the galaxy while preserving the infrastructure, the sacrifice and the fall. On Hyperion, the scholar Sol Weintraub faces the ultimate test of faith. His daughter Rachel has aged backward to the moment of her birth due to the Merlin sickness. As the time tombs open, the Shrike appears and demands the child. Recalling his dreams and a lifetime of searching for meaning, Sol hands his newborn daughter to the Shrike. This act of trust allows Rachel to be taken into the future, where she will eventually grow up to become Moneta, the woman who aids Cassad. Braun Lamia, carrying the child of the first Keats cybrid, enters the metasphere, the reality beyond the digital and physical worlds. She confronts the Shrike and manages to damage it, eventually realizing that her child will be the one who teaches, the bridge between humanity and the new era. Back at the seat of government, Meina Gladstone makes the most difficult decision in human history. Realizing that the core resides in the spaces between the farcaster portals, she orders the destruction of every farcaster singularity in the Hegemony. In a matter of seconds, the web falls. Hundreds of worlds are suddenly isolated, separated by light years of distance and decades of travel time. The instantaneous economy collapses, families are separated, and the TechnoCore is severed from its human power source. The Hegemony, as it was known, is gone forever. The novel concludes with a galaxy in chaos, but finally free. Meina Gladstone is killed by a mob in the aftermath, having accepted her role as the martyr who saved humanity from machine slavery. On Hyperion, the remaining pilgrims find each other. The time tombs have opened, and the ousters, rather than being invaders, arrive as brothers to help rebuild. The Fall of Hyperion is a story about the end of an era and the painful birth of the next. It suggests that true evolution requires the abandonment of comfortable dependencies and the embrace of empathy and individual sacrifice. Humanity is no longer a passenger in its own history. It has been forced to walk the long path among the stars once more. Thank you for joining us at the Well-Read Monocle. If you enjoyed this summary, please do consider subscribing for more deep dives into the classics of science fiction. Until next time.